When the Andy Griffith Show first aired, it felt effortless. Easy laughs, gentle pacing, small-town charm that looked so buttoned up you assumed nothing ever slipped past notice. Every pause seemed intentional. Every reaction appeared rehearsed. The show built a trust with its audience that few series have ever matched. But buried inside that calm, carefully controlled world is a moment that wasn't cleaned up, wasn't reshot, and definitely wasn't meant to stay. It made it to air exactly as it happened. How did this blooper sneak past editors, producers, and decades of rewatches? And why do most viewers still miss it? Let's slow down and take a closer look. The series began as a pivot for Andy Griffith himself. Before Mayberry, Griffith was failing on Broadway. He wasn't a natural sitcom star yet. He had started as a comedy monologist, worked toward Broadway success, and even earned a Tony nomination. Hollywood took notice briefly, and he starred in No Time for Sergeants alongside Don Knotts. But as the 1950s faded, opportunities slowed. The path forward blurred. Griffith needed something steadier, a role that would last. In a 2003 conversation with Larry King, he recalled performing in a struggling musical, watching ticket sales falter, and realizing neither film nor theater were opening doors anymore. Nightclubs weren't appealing either. Television, though uncertain, presented a lifeline. That pivot brought Sheldon Leonard into the picture, a pilot into existence, and within months, The Andy Griffith Show was born. Set in the fictional town of Mayberry, North Carolina, the series followed Sheriff Andy Taylor as he calmly guided the town and raised his young son, Opie. The charm lay in its simplicity. There was Andy's quiet authority, Opie's wide-eyed curiosity, and the endless chaos of Deputy Barney Fife, whose tightly wound energy kept viewers laughing. Nothing flashy. Nothing rushed. The humor emerged organically from human flaws rather than punchlines. Every scene felt deliberate, as though Mayberry itself could never drift off course. The show's success was almost instantaneous. Andy Taylor first appeared in February 1960 on The Danny Thomas Show, a subtle testing ground. By October 3, 1960, the full series premiered. It never fell from the top 10 during its 8-season run, racking up multiple Emmy wins for Don Knotts. Spin-offs followed, reruns endured, and Mayberry became iconic. Yet the series nearly never existed. Griffith, facing dwindling options, had taken a quiet gamble on television. That leap created a series so polished, so tightly controlled, that viewers rarely suspected anything could slip past the editors. And yet, if you look closely, tiny irregularities appear. Take Barney Fife's middle names, for instance. At different points in the series, his middle initial changes. One episode calls him Oliver. Another, Milton. Another simply uses P. None of these line up. In a show built on precision and consistency, these tiny contradictions are bizarre. They pass unnoticed by most, yet linger once you catch them. Even the illusion of Mayberry's calm countryside wasn't what it seemed. The famous fishing hole from the opening credits is not in North Carolina but sits in Los Angeles, in Franklin Canyon Park, a 605-acre space often used for filming. Long before Andy and Opie brought peace to its waters, it appeared in Twin Peaks, NCIS, The Brady Bunch, and even Purple Rain. The scene retains its charm, but knowing its real location adds another layer to how carefully the show crafted its illusion. Off-screen, the actors were quite different from their characters. Andy was playful, warm, and mischievous, while Don Knotts, the ever-anxious, bumbling Barney, was precise, disciplined, and thoughtful. That inversion made their on-screen chemistry all the more remarkable. Even Ron Howard, playing young Opie, experienced the realities of an adult-dominated set. Cameras rolled, smoke filled the air, and long hours tested patience. His eyes burned constantly, but Griffith's steady mentorship allowed him to navigate the pressures with confidence. Ron later credited Griffith for creating a space where he could grow naturally as both actor and person. Behind the scenes, not everything matched the screen. Frances Bavier, who played Aunt Bee, won an Emmy for her role, yet she did not always enjoy life off-camera. Though warm and professional, she occasionally struggled with being forever identified by a single character. Andy Griffith himself admitted there was a personal rift that never fully softened, a quiet tension hidden behind Mayberry's serene exterior. Some of the show's iconic moments involved clever illusions. The opening credits suggest Opie throws a rock perfectly into the fishing hole. In reality, Ron Howard, only 6 years old, could never throw it far enough consistently. The crew secretly had someone off camera toss the rock, preserving the magic without breaking the scene's realism. The effect is seamless, invisible, just one of many hidden solutions the show employed to maintain its polished charm. Even the production itself sometimes created conflict. Don Knotts asked for part ownership of the series after the 5th season. Griffith declined, and Knotts left. The split was quiet, professional, and largely unnoticed by viewers, yet it reshaped one of television's most beloved partnerships. Small errors crept through too, and they are part of the show's enduring fascination. A broken glass in the big house disappears between shots. Floyd's glasses in the room inexplicably change style mid-scene. Barney's shirt develops a pocket with cigarettes between cuts. In Opie's ill-gotten gain, a bike bell switches sides between shots. In A Black Day for Mayberry, Barney's trench coat magically dries itself, and background actors swap identities unnoticed. A live bear's handler occasionally peeks into frame, and the sheriff's office window doesn't always match the exterior. Continuity was rarely perfect, but the small slips never undermined the magic. They highlighted the speed and trust of early television production. Even after Griffith walked away at the series' peak in 1968, his attempts to pivot elsewhere fell short. Shows like Headmaster and later experiments in Greenwood failed to capture Mayberry's spirit. Only with Matlock in 1986 did Griffith regain lasting television stardom, proving the enduring appeal of his calm authority. The series finale of The Andy Griffith Show remains legendary. Filmed as a girl for Goober, it wasn't the last episode aired, but it marked a definitive end. On set, the cast and crew were exhausted yet proud. Griffith, quietly reflective, acknowledged the moment's weight. Ron Howard returned to school, and Griffith removed his badge, ending 8 years as Mayberry's steady sheriff. The farewell was understated, perfect in its simplicity, and respected the audience's investment in a world that had never overextended its welcome. And yet, bloopers and behind-the-scenes truths continue to surface for attentive fans. The small mistakes, invisible interventions, and hidden realities remind us that even a series as polished as The Andy Griffith Show was shaped by human hands, working fast, improvising where needed, and trusting viewers to follow along. The calm perfection of Mayberry was real, but it was a carefully orchestrated illusion, full of tiny quirks that keep the magic alive decades later. When you watch the show now, it's easy to get lost in the gentle pacing, the measured humor, and the charm of Andy, Barney, and Opie. But for those willing to look a little closer, the cracks and slips, the secret solutions, and the glimpses of real personalities behind the characters all come into view. That hidden world makes the show even richer, revealing the extraordinary skill, improvisation, and human complexity that brought a small North Carolina town to life on television. The Andy Griffith Show remains a masterclass in subtlety, patience, and trust between creators and audience. Its imperfections don't diminish its magic, they amplify it, reminding us that behind every perfectly delivered line or flawlessly timed gag, real people were making it all happen. Small errors, invisible hands, and a world meticulously constructed for 8 years, that's what made Mayberry feel alive, real, and timeless. Did you notice any other bloopers in The Andy Griffith Show? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden stories from television's golden age.